is that speaker for your microphone?
Yes, it is. Okay, kids, behave yourselves. You're being streamed live on the web.
Morning.
Good morning, sir. Check, check, check.
You know where I work, come on.
You can do it right there, or you can put it up here on the podium, either way, whichever works. Is everybody's mic levels okay? Everything looking all right? No problem. Wait for a couple of minutes with our media partners here as they're getting ready. Captain, did you want to come up also?
I'm good.
Okay.
You see the guys at work.
I think this is the first time I've supplied a speaker for you guys for anything.
That's very kind of you.
All of you guys ready? Mike, are you ready? Okay. Good afternoon, everybody, or good morning. My name is Detective Sergeant Dana Costin, C-O-S-T-O-N. I'm the Cape Coral Police Department's Public Affairs Officer. I want to thank you all for coming this morning. We have a brief announcement of some of the stuff that you see going on behind me. And our format this morning is going to be a quick statement from me, a couple of questions if you have any, and then I'm going to give you some time to have a breakout session with the representatives from the Cape Coral Police Department Traffic Unit who are behind me, as well as representatives from BMW. Today we're announcing that the Cape Coral Police Department Traffic Unit is deploying the brand new BMW R-1200-RT-P Authority Motorcycle as part of our ongoing mission in the Cape Coral Police Department to reduce traffic crashes and provide for safer roadways for all the citizens of Cape Coral. These motorcycles are an integral part of Cape Coral Police Department's Traffic Unit in our 5-year plan to reduce traffic crashes, thwart aggressive driving, curb the number of serious injury crashes that we are seeing on our roads, and keep our citizens safe as they go to and from their destinations. In the past, the Cape Coral Police Department utilized Harley-Davidson police motorcycles, and it was a lease program that the police department engaged in where we would lease the motorcycles for a 2-year period and then return them for new motorcycles at the end of that period. What you see behind us is actually the culmination of almost 3 years of hard work on the part of Sergeant John Colco and Captain Mike Torregrossa in getting this plan ready and getting these bikes on the street. In evaluating the selection for new police motorcycles, a number of things had to be taken into account. The primary thing that we needed to take into account was changes in technology and how these motorcycles can better serve our officers and make them more effective in reducing traffic crashes throughout the city. The second is cost, and we're happy to announce that by partnering with BMW Motorcycles, we're actually able to save the citizens of Cape Coral over $20,000 over the course of the 5-year plan, as opposed to the lease program that we were previously engaged in. This is a purchase program, so at the end of our 5-year plan, the department will actually own these motorcycles as opposed to leasing them. But the The main feature, the main star of the show today is going to be these people behind me and the equipment that they're standing next to. Let me talk a little bit about the motorcycles. The first benefit that we're going to see with these motorcycles is a total reduction in fuel expenses. Currently we field these motorcycles every day throughout the week and protecting our citizens as they drive to and from work and other places. We're looking at fuel economy of 40 to 60 miles per gallon in these motorcycles that you see behind me, as opposed to 28 to 32 that we were getting in the previous motorcycles. We have less required maintenance. The scheduled maintenance intervals on these motorcycles is once every 6,000 miles as opposed to every 2,500. So you have almost twice as much time on the road between service intervals that with these motorcycles as you would with our previous generation bikes. These bikes are also lighter overall. These are about 250 pounds lighter per motorcycle, which means they're easier to maneuver and easier to control for the officers. The advanced technology in these bikes is also going to make policing our streets safer for our officers. Traction control, tire pressure monitoring, and an integrated light system that I'm going to give them an opportunity to flip on and let you see is going to enhance their visibility, their stability, and their safety while they're out on the streets. And finally, the other technology that you won't be seeing today, but we're going to be implementing with these is that we're going to have purpose-built wireless technology incorporated onto these bikes. So the officers, instead of having to use a handwritten ticket or use even a full-size laptop, you're going to be seeing ruggedized tablets with wireless printers so these officers can conduct their work right in the field without having to come into the station or do handwritten tickets that can cause errors or cause paperwork to get lost. So in every respect, these motorcycles are going to improve the way these officers are doing their jobs on a day-to-day basis. So I'll take a couple of questions if you have any. Otherwise, I'm going to get out of the way and let the stars of the show speak for themselves.
Total cost. What's the total cost?
Total cost for the program, John, it's, each bike is about $24,000. And again, that's about a $5,000 savings over the previous bikes for the same 5-year period.
How many bikes?
We've got a total of 5 bikes that are going to be deployed. The 5th bike, there's a 4th bike behind you that you can't see on camera here, and then we have a 5th one that's coming to the station probably later in the week.
The date for deployment?
Date for deployment, they may hit the road as soon as today, but you'll definitely start seeing them by the end of the week.
So with that, the fact that they're lighter, faster, it's safer for the officers then.
Absolutely.
These bikes versus the other.
Absolutely. The question was, since they're lighter, are they safer for the officers? Absolutely. It makes them easier to maneuver. It makes them easier to get into tight spots, and it also creates a situation where you have less heat coming off of the bike because of the way that they're engineered. And in the heat of the summer, one of the things that we have to be very cognizant of for our officers is heat exhaustion. And having a cooler bike to operate keeps them out on the street longer, which makes them more effective.
I think I heard somebody say they first started looking into these bikes in '03.
Initially, one of our retired motor officers, who's actually here with us today, began looking at these bikes in 2003. We were looking at the BMW motorcycle. This is actually a brand new model, and we are the first police department in the United States to field these bikes on the road. But we started exploring the possibility of BMW as a replacement for the Harley-Davidson Road Kings back in as early as 2003.
What was the kind of hold up on getting them if you were looking at them that long ago?
It has to, again, well, like any kind of technology that you adopt, you have to look at what the total cost is going to be. You also have to look at the technology. And all technology is a question of trade-offs, and we had to find that the bikes needed to give us everything that we were looking for. And at that time, the decision was made, total value, the value proposition was better for the Harley-Davidsons at the time, but that has since changed, and now we're adopting newer technology. Anything else, guys? Okay, I'm going to get out of the way, and like I said, we're going to have a little time for you guys to talk with the Cape Coral Police Department Traffic Unit officers. This is Sergeant John Kolko here on the end, and you can direct your questions to him, and then you can talk with the gentleman from BMW who are here and tell you a little bit more about the technical aspects of the bike. So thank you all very much for coming out.
Like Corporal Taylor and Corporal Hartzell are going to walk everyone through the bike. If you guys want to move the cameras closer, and they can walk you through the bike and what the features are and benefits are, and some of the special features we have on regards to the motorcycles here today. This is Jeff Gallo from Gulf Coast Motorcycles and Sean from Gulf Coast Motorcycles. Oh, no. They're here. They're the ones that actually, Sean's the one that assembled them all for us and got them together. I did a great job. And Jeff works up there. He's the general manager and does a great job with us. He's been partnering with us throughout the last year and trying to get this here, get these bikes here and get them all in for us. These guys are the experts on the bikes in regards to all the technical aspects of the bikes. Officer Taylor and Officer Hartzell and Corporal Schilke, all three corporals are all going to be riding the bikes today, and they'll be out on the road. Corporal Taylor and Corporal Hartzell have had a couple of more days on the bike, so they're a little more familiar with all the extra equipment and the things that go on there if you want to ask them any questions.
What was the third corporal's last name?
Corporal Schilke?
Yeah, how do you spell that?
S-C-H-I-L-K-E.
Yes, sir.
These are BMW R-1200-RT-P.
A lot of numbers, a lot of letters, but that's what it is. The authority, their police version of a motorcycle. This is their authority. They call it an authority bike, and that's what this is.
So I'm going to explain the police aspect of it.
You want to go over the lighting system for them?
Sure.
And Corporal Hartzell, if you want to go over some of the features when we're done.
The lighting system is all LED. Very nice.
Hey Pat, if you can make sure you're speaking up a little bit.
Sure. Gives us front coverage as well as side coverage. As we know, numerous accidents happen because people can't see the lights from the side. We have side coverage on both front and rear, as well as front and rear lights. The lights have two different modes. One where I can deploy just the rear lights, so that if I'm on a traffic position where only the rear needs to be seen, I can use this. I can also deploy both front and rear. Doing that makes the lights all go nice and visible so that I can be seen by the public, whether I'm directing traffic, conducting a traffic stop, anything like that. Third option is just the front lights, which would work the same as the rear, but if I position the motorcycle to the front, that way it can be seen. Pulling them turns them off. Another addition that we have that we did not have on the Harley Davidson is alley lights and takedown lights.
Turn that on again.
Sure. This bike has alley lights and takedown lights. The Harley Davidson did not. Our takedown lights work in the front. That's for seeing down a dark alley, as well as utilized so that I can see where I'm going versus just the red and the white. The alley lights are for nighttime work, being able to see to the side without having to retrieve a flashlight. Any questions? Anybody did not get film with the lights?
Does anybody want an up-close demo of the siren? I'm kidding.
Please.
It's very loud.
What's the visibility on the LED systems?
They've done research on it. BMW did research, and they said they can be seen from 0.9 miles away. It's almost a mile, almost a full mile distance in the viewing of these lights. Yes, sir.
Those lights make that big of a difference.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Wow.
And as you can tell, they're all mounted high, right? And vehicle who's driving, it's in their eye level. The lights aren't down low, so you can be seen.
What was the visibility range for the Harleys?
I don't recall if there was any.
I'm not 100% sure on that. It wasn't that far, though.
Any other questions on the lights? No?
Which one?
Oh yeah, sure.
Front to back.
With this bike, we had Road Kings before, the Harley Davidson Road Kings, which had a solid mounted windshield. So if it was windy or rainy, you had to kind of duck down. With the BMW, this has a switch where you can raise and lower the windshield, providing you protection from wind and rain. If we were on a highway or even on veterans, if it's a windy day, this actually will take the wind and almost kind of put it up over your head so that your head doesn't bob around. It just makes it a lot safer for us. And then you can lower it too if it gets too hot because it kind of blocks the wind. You can lower it down and then you can get more wind to your face. If you're at low speeds, we usually keep it in this position, but for kind of highway travel, you can adjust it too. You can go halfway up, all the way up. Adjust it to your liking. What else? The cruise control, yeah. We have cruise control on this model too. It's pretty much just like in any standard car. It has an on position where you turn it on, you can set your speed, and then any variation of throttle or brake will cancel it out. You can also adjust it 1 mile an hour up or down if you want to, as you're traveling down the road. Actually, if you guys want to come around here, I don't know if it's easier to see.
Corporal
Go
Hartzell,
over the,
how is that useful for traffic enforcement?
you can pace vehicles with it. That's one of the things that we do. Not everything is done by radar or laser. We can also pace vehicles as well to judge their speed. And we can utilize that where we can have a constant speed with that.
And there's also a record button.
There is a record button too, that you can record the speed and lock it in for court purposes. If you guys want to come around the side here, I'll show you the dash. The onboard dash, it's LED, correct? The LED?
It's TFT.
Oh, TFT?
My bad.
There's too many letters and
there's a
stuff
lot of
out there. I
acronyms
can't remember
in
which one's which. We have a menu button right here where we can go through and go through our average consumption of fuel. We can judge the range of how many miles we have left on that tank of fuel, approximate speed, temperature. We can monitor the tire pressure.
That's an important safety feature.
Yes.
Corporal Hartzell.
It's the tire pressure. That way, if we were to have somewhat of a slow leak, that tire pressure gauge, which is, it's the top one, right? The top indicator on the top here, this little light right there. It's constantly measuring the PSI in the tires, and if it were to sense a slow leak at any time, it'll actually indicate on that dash, and then it'll show which tire is losing pressure. So that's a definite safety feature for us in case we were to pick up a nail or a piece of glass and we have a tire going down. It also has travel time, stopwatch. We can set the trip. Oops. We can set the trip monitors. We also, on this model, which is very nice when it gets cool, we have heated grips and heated seats.
For the 2 days it gets cold.
Yeah, well, when we were in Tallahassee, it came in very, very handy.
We were riding these bikes in 21-degree weather.
Yes.
With perfect comfort.
Yeah,
while
everybody
others
else was
were
hurting. We were sitting nice and
What's
warm.
the learning curve to get all the technology? I mean, going from the HD to the BMW, what's the
It
learning
wasn't
curve?
too bad. It wasn't really too bad. I mean, it's kind of user friendly. Jeff and the guys, they did a real good job of going over it beforehand.
We also conduct a 20-hour school
Yes.
before you are certified to ride any new bike.
So let me ask you this:
Sure.
with the new bike like this, okay, do you feel safer on it?
Yes, I do. It handles a lot better. You have a lot more control. The seating position kind of helps that, I believe, because you're in the bike more instead of kind of like on top of it, like with the Harley. It's very easy to maneuver, and
This is an improvement.
the turning radius on it and everything is just it's I think it's superior right now. They really knocked it out of the park with this model.
And you feel safer on it?
Yes, I do. I mean, personally, I do. I don't know about the rest of the guys, but I think they feel the same way as well.
Yes.
Which is ironic because it wasn't always the case.
No, it wasn't.
It was a hard sell.
I was
pretty critical.
I was the critical one between these two bikes, but I like it. So.
Any video recording on it?
Not yet. I'm not sure if we have plans for that yet. That's
Again?
for Sergeant Coco. If he'd be in it.
Video.
Capabilities.
Body isn't.
The bikes do have body cams, but the bikes do come. There's availability of like video integration on that as well. So probably look at down the road.
What else can we go over? I think that's pretty much it.
Want to talk about the radio and how all that's integrated in the system now?
I'm not actually sure on that one.
Okay.
So you can take care of that one.
We'll show up the,
In the older bikes we had, Corporal Shilke I think still has on his bike on his helmet, if I remember correctly, correct? Corporal Shilke still has a little tail on his helmet, right? This actually plugs into the motorcycle, our older motorcycles, and that gave the officer the ability to talk on us while he was driving down the road. What we're going to do now is we have BMW and PVP have worked together, a communication company that makes those headsets. They've now made wireless headsets. So now the officers will be able to talk on their bikes, on their system with using hands-free, much hands-free. Would be wireless. They won't be connected to the motorcycle while they're driving, which is nice. It's a safety feature. Corporal Hartzell and Corporal Taylor had issues with that before in training, where we've trained with the helmets and had to get off the motorcycle quickly, and you're tethered to the bike and you're kind of locked on it, and it kind of caused some issues with them. With the new system we have now, they'll be able to get off the motorcycle and still keep their helmets on and be able to maneuver safely and conduct their business without having to worry about a cord being in the way and those things there. We also have available, on the bikes, if you open the back hatch back there, coming soon, we're going to have tablets, Panasonic tablets, Toughbook tablets. They'll be wireless with the Bluetooth and GPS in them. The officers will be able to be seen, and they'll be able to conduct their business without being tethered to the motorcycle as well, which is another safety feature. The printers we're going to get, they'll be Bluetooth capable, so the officers will be able to do them, to be able to communicate with them, Bluetooth from their tablet, be able to write citations like Sergeant Costume was talking about, be able to write citations not being tied to the bike. Another safety feature, and another safety thing that helps us be able to maneuver and do our job safer as we deal with the public. The officers will be able to stand away from the motorcycle. Where's the person think we are when we're on a traffic stop? At our vehicle. And this is where they are here. What else? Jeff? Sure. This is Mr. Jeff Gallo. He also assembled the bikes with Sean, and he's a master of everything. He does a great job over there, and has done a great job helping us learn about the motorcycles and be more educated in regards to their operation and their safety.
I think they've covered a lot of the great technology on the bike, but this is a relationship that the store we started with the department and Sergeant Kolko quite a while ago. It was a long process, but it has culminated in a great product for the officers to keep them safer on the road. That's the number one benefit of these bikes. They're lighter, faster, safer for the officers than other competition product out there. And to have that save the city money at the same time, that's a thing that you can't ignore. So we're very excited to have Cape Coral Police Department riding BMWs. This is a department in our backyard. We've sold them to other agencies across the U.S., including Key West. But to have Cape Coral be right in our backyard, be our city to support with these bikes, we're extremely proud, and it's been a lot of hard work, but we're very happy and excited. TFT is a type of resolution of a display like LCD or LED. A lot of current generation cell phones have that now, so it allows the dashboard to have multiple features built in, great color contrast so they can see in direct sunlight during the day. There's a lot of flexibility in the bike that each officer can tailor the levers and the controls to his personal taste, so just increasing the safety availability on the bike. We have 125 horsepower, which is quite a few more ponies than the other bikes. 125 horsepower. Yep. 6-speed gearbox. Anti-lock brakes, I don't think that's been mentioned yet. So each unit has ABS and traction control. Yep. And the brakes are a smart system. So when the officer, in a panic situation, a normal motorcycle braking, you want to apply both brakes, evenly distribute the braking force. Car pulls out in front of one of the officers on this bike, all they have to do is grab a handful of front brake, and the bike will smartly distribute braking force to the rear brake. So it kind of helps the officer out in that critical moment where they have to make a panic maneuver. Anti-dive suspensions, the bikes don't nosedive when they're braking, so that gives them better safety and control in corners and pursuits. Yeah, and also the bikes also have adjustable throttle and safety system modes. They have rain mode and road mode. So depending on traffic or weather conditions, they can press a button on the handlebar and make the bike smoother and easier to ride with better safety system backup. Or if they're riding a bit more spiritedly, they can put it in road mode and have more power earlier in the throttle. It really changes the characteristic of the bike. These are liquid cooled. So BMW has made police bikes for many years now. BMW's been building bikes since 1923, before the cars were ever made. So that's an interesting fact. But this model BMW has always been air and oil cooled. For 2015, one of the things that tied in with the city of Cape Coral getting liquid cooled bikes, the first in the United States, is that BMW did change them this year to be liquid cooled. Gave them better performance, lower to zero operating temperature experienced by the officer, so many benefits.
Definitely a lot cooler on it.
Yeah.
The ride.
And great wind protection.
Yeah.
So if it's cold or raining, as long as they're moving, they're pretty much dry.
Yeah.
So if they get caught in a summer storm.
Your knees kind of fit right in that little where it's divot out. Yeah.
Yep.
And it makes it really nice.
Is there any specific requirement required by the City of Cape Coral for the specs on this bike? Anything that you guys particularly requested that was a must?
Sure. Yeah, the way the purchase process works, it's a bid process due to the sizable cost of the investment. But there is, the city provided to us and other dealers in the bid process, you know, the horsepower needs, the safety system needs, the emergency lighting needs, and that all obviously is met by the most advanced bike on the market. And so it was an easy form for us to fill out. You know, we met all the criteria and actually exceeded most of it with this product.
And our guys drove bikes from multiple vendors. I mean, we didn't just ride the BMWs.
We tried three different vendors that make police motorcycles, and all four of us rode them, along with another officer who's now retired. All rode them, and we determined that this bike was the best fit for our department. Safety, maneuverability, equipment, and all those things there.
How many members in the department in traffic?
In the motor unit, currently we have 4. So we'll have 5 shortly.
Two always on duty? Is that how, I mean, how do you guys? How does that work in terms of rotation? Yeah, the rotation. Thank you.
Monday through Friday, Monday through Thursday I have 2, and Tuesday through Friday I have 2. So
but that is subject to change based on concentration. What we try to do is put our resources in the areas and time where there's the most amount of traffic.
Right.
And the truth is, you never know when you're going to see us, and that's the way we want. We want to be more than we are.
We haven't been seen in a while. So.
Yeah.
You see us a lot now.
We'll welcome you back.
Yes.
I cannot overemphasize the question you had. What we did is we tapped into the experience of these guys who've been doing this for a while, saying what is it must-haves, and this has been a rather long journey. And thank you, Jeff, and your crew for being very patient with us. But over a year, being diligent and looking at the specific specs of what we wanted, must-haves, we were able to come up with that, and this is what, like I said, best suited our.
To caveat that, we also engaged actively other agencies and their opinions and what they thought about what the bikes we were looking at, and overwhelmingly, this bike came in number one, to the effect of agencies telling us you're foolish not to buy them because these work all day, they don't break down, they keep the officer safe, they handle well, and all those things there. So I think that's one of the other key things that we use to make our decision in regard to buying the bike.
Excellent. General Manager. And this is Sean Skinner. He's our BMW Master Certified Technician who did all the heavy lifting on these bikes in the assembly and the many hours.
When does maintenance go back to you guys then?
Correct.
You don't do your own maintenance though.
There's no fleet repair for motor units, and that's another benefit of us being 15 minutes up the road. We're here whenever they need it, and even though it should be infrequent visits to us, we're very close and can react quickly to what they need. But Sean's been with us since we opened in '02, and worked on BMWs a long time, so he's the go-to man for these units.
Did we touch on fuel efficiency at all?
Yeah, they did a little bit at the beginning, but again, this is a very fuel-efficient engine that, depending on the riding scenarios that they're in, speeds and such, the bikes can actually get 40 to 6 per gallon. They have approximately.
Well, folks, that's going to conclude our broadcast of the news conference here announcing the new Cape Coral Police Department motorcycles. We'll have a news release later on today, and we'll be releasing some photos out onto the web, but we really appreciate you all joining us here on Twitter and on Meerkat, something else that we're trying out that's very new. And you should be seeing these motorcycles on the road as of this afternoon. So you all drive safe, and thanks for joining us.